beep.
Well, hello everyone, and as promised, this is the extended version of the space weather update video that I posted on my Instagram, and that will be available in the Space Force update, Space Force news tonight on 1 Foot in 5D. So if you're here, it's because you wanted a little bit more meat and potatoes with the space weather update that I posted, or you're just on my YouTube channel and you're like, where's the shorter video? Well, the shorter video is on my YouTube. I can also upload it, and it's also on my Instagram. So if you don't want to listen to a longer video, then that one will be for you. So what we're going to talk about today, it is February 21st, 2021. It is currently 3:30 p.m. here in Arizona. And I have some space weather I'm going to report to you. On Sundays is the day where we're going to do the review. And these are the videos I'll eventually do live with all of you. But right now I'm currently raising money for a new computer because I just attempted to do it live and it nearly blew up. It was a disaster. So this is recording. You'll see me here in the premiere to chit chat with you if you have any extra questions or want to add any more data. I appreciate it. So let's look, boom, at this CME that came out. Here we go. See that bright spot on the right hand side really quick? It's going to disappear. There it goes. So here's the 18th, of course, and we experienced some CME stuff a little bit, very faintly, and then there's that bright spot. It shows up, and then boom, this bright huge ejection, one on both sides actually on the early 20th, and then late into the 20th and the 21st, a massive solar flare and solar ejection comes out and covers about half of the screen. So huge energy coming in. And I don't know what that bright spot meant. I have not seen that before. Maybe it's a planet getting a little too close or something like that, and it might rotate into view a little more over the next, 24 hours. We will find out what that object is, but really strange the timing where it showed up and then the big blast came out the side of both sides of the sun, left and right. We had an ejection come out, and then boom, there's that giant one I was talking about. Just glorious. So when is that ejection supposed to show up? So here is a page from Solar Ham you can check on, and this is the graph we're going to look at next. This is the prediction graph, basically. So it shows you when it shoots out, and then it shows you up here the time in which that energy should land. And we are this beautiful little yellow square here, yellow circle in these ones. And so as you watch the wave show, boom, that's the day. And if you look at the time on the top right, when that hits 23rd, 22nd, 23rd, 24th is where that's going to wash right over us. So what are the 22nd? So that's going to be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. That we're going to be experiencing that. So rest up today because the energy is already very intense. And unfortunately, we're also already in a geomagnetic storm over the last 24 hours, and that solar wind is high. So if you've been having any body pain in your spinal area, especially, or in your joints and your muscles, but mostly I notice it up around my neck where my neck meets my shoulders. And so do a lot of interpretive dance, okay? Move that energy up around your body. I have to take my own advice, and after this I will. You need to do your stretching. You need to do your dancing. You need to jump on your little rebounders. And you need to be taking Epsom salt baths. You need to be eating your dark leafy greens. Get that magnesium, that calcium, that zinc into your body. Get those minerals in there so you can withstand and conduct all of this electromagnetic energy that's going to be sweeping across our planet. So let's take another look. Let's look at the other interpretation here, because this is where you can see the smaller stuff that was happening on the 19th. There it is on the 19th. And then here into the 20th, boom, a huge explosion off the sun, and see how much is still flooding out after it. There's a lot of matter basically leaving the sun, a lot of plasma, charged particles, and so on. And what also has been going on is we had this giant coronal hole here. So this has also been sending solar wind our direction anyways, which is pretty wild. We also have a potential sunspot going on here with two opposite magnetically charged areas on the top of the sun. That's what causes those flares and these faster CMEs that pop out that we watched over and over that just happened. I'm pretty sure that was caused potentially by a flare, a small one. But it was that was a very juicy CME. And here is some more evidence of this data, of course. So into the 20th, we reached yellow. So the yellow means it's a K4, which means it's a mid-level geomagnetic storm, which means we're getting a medium amount of compression on our geomagnetic field than normal, which is caused by charged particles whooshing past Earth and squeezing the electromagnetic field closer to it. And then all those charged particles will go into the poles and will cause the aurora borealis to be going off. So tonight, most likely are going to have some, honestly, the next like 4 days potentially will have some active aurora borealis. So if you're up there, up in the north, or if you're lucky enough to be in Antarctica right now, definitely check out the skies and see what you can see. Get your expensive equipment out there, take some pictures, send it to me, put it online, sell it for hundreds of dollars. Like, aurora is one of the most sought after and rare and most phenomenally spiritually awakening experiences for people. It is a miracle. And if you get to witness them, share it with the world if you can. So on the 19th, I wanted to report, for those of you who haven't seen my posts or whatever about it, you've been wherever, that's fine. Sign up on my website, ascensiondiaries.com, to get my written blog posts. Those are the best. It's hard to do videos all the time, but I try and do them once a week. But when we're getting it live and in action, I'm writing it up on my phone and posting it on my blog on ascensiondiaries.com. So please go do subscribe to that. Become a member if you'd like to come to Movie Monday. Remember Movie Monday tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. We're going to be watching Soul by Disney in a Zoom call. So you'll get that Zoom link emailed to you if you donate monthly on my Patreon or on my website to help actually fund this process. And eventually that funding is going to lead to a brand new computer where we can live stream and make this even crazier. It's going to be so awesome. I cannot wait. But just about as awesome as this. So we've been waiting for a big Schumann blast. It was due. This probably is from the 17th, when we were seeing 16th, 17th, more energy coming off the sun, because this is 3 days later. So here it is. Here is the Schumann blast. So how do we measure this? This is hertz in Russian. This is a Russian chart. It's measured. I'm pretty sure the data is gathered over Russia. So even though we're seeing readings here, people will collaborate. Russia's not as far as you may think, and we are in the same container. We all share the ionosphere together. So when the ionosphere is being measured heavily over, or at least the ground to ionosphere cavity, which is very, very high up. The ionosphere is like the highest layer, other than our magnetosphere, of our atmosphere that's holding in all of this gas and all of this electricity and so on. And when it gets stimulated, it causes lightning lower down in that discharge of energy. And so this is a discharge of energy that we're witnessing, basically. This is kind of like a lightning burst in a way. So 0 hertz, you see very at the top 0 hertz. Obviously 0 means no frequency, so that's not the case. So that little blackness, if you look really close, there's just a little bit of blackness. And as soon as we get into 0.3 hertz, that's when we're in business here. And so the biggest chunk, the most solid chunk, looks like it had occurred from between like 0.3 and like 13 hertz. That's where the biggest amount of energy was being stimulated, the biggest amplitude during that time on the 19th. This came in around noon on the 19th, around noon, and Mountain Time, so here in Arizona. And we're about to do daylight savings, so my time zone's not going to change, but everywhere else in North America pretty much is going to change their time zone. So times are going to get a little confusing. I'm sorry. Where I live is solid. The time doesn't change. Everywhere else kind of changes. So if you hear me and the hours start changing up in March, this will be why. But just so you know. And then let's look. So noon, it comes in, and then around, I don't know, like 2, 3 in the afternoon, it actually extends further down. The energy actually starts to tickle from around 13, 15 hertz to all the way down, really, until 40 hertz and beyond. You see it goes past the bottom. The green does, at least. But the white, it kind of cascades down to around a 30 hertz. So decent amount of brainwave activity. we're getting into the high beta and gamma rays right here. So that's when we're going from being super productive, super hyper stressed out about being productive, into finally you're thinking so hard that you're having all of these amazing thoughts, and you're kind of transcending your thoughts. You're basically going from busybody thinking in the 3D realm to kind of expanding out. Your brainwaves are speeding up, and you're really perceiving a lot more. So this wave lasted it lasted like 10 hours. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, around 7 hours this blast lasted on the 19th. So really big hitter. The amplitude of the 7.3, because the frequency here of the white line is the first Schumann resonance. The frequency, F1 here, during that hour, around hour 2, reached down. Actually, it went down in frequency. It slowed down slightly to 7.3-ish. And then it hit an amplitude, so a strength basically of it peaked. That strength peaked. Okay, let's see. It was like hour 7 when the strength really peaked. And so what frequency were we at hour 7? Still around a 7.3, and that peaked at a 56. So 56, pretty large reading. When it first came in, it started climbing all the way from 2 all the way to 56 over that time. So that's a big shift in amplitude of the 7.83 hertz, or 7.3 hertz in this case. And this is how we read these charts, and why I'm doing this extended video, so you can learn deeper how to read what I'm reading. For those of you newbies out there, another factor of the frequency that we can measure is the Q factor, which is its quality. And so the quality is something I'm still learning about. Amplitude and me, we are pals. I understand amplitude. I understand frequency. The Q factor, which also Russia measures of these frequencies, is a bit more mysterious to me. And also it's showing me mysterious things. So right before that charge came in, we had a very high Q factor of the 4th frequency, which is here in green. So the 4th frequency hangs out at around, where are we at here? It was hanging out at 24, 25 hertz. So if we look here on the color chart, that's what this solid line is already. It's hanging out. You can see it right here. It's chilling on its own. It's doing its own thing, which is why the Q factor showed up, I think, because it became very pure. So it showed up here. And the Q factor seems to be persistent. It was, or at least that 25 hertz was persistent. And now we're getting into way more chaos, which we're going to talk about in a second here. But let's look back at the Q factor. So that Q factor, the amplitude did spike after that too, for that 25 hertz. But that Q factor spiked to around a 31, which is very cool. And the Q factor has been very, very high over the 19th into the 20th. But now the temperament has changed. So let's look again. Now we're getting into these weird vertical lines again. See how they weren't there? See this beautiful clear blue over here? Just very normal. And then, whoa, what's going on here? Chug, 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 chug. Like, is what I like read it. It's just like, this, like, to me, okay. The last metaphor I used in the last video was basically when you're in a pool, you're at an Olympic diving pool, they have little jets that shoot out water over the surface of the Olympic diving pool to kind of make it more disturbed already. So when the person dives in, they have a less likely chance of killing themselves, basically, because the surface tension of the water is disturbed. And so for me, that's what keeps coming to mind when I see these lines. It's like they're disturbing the surface tension of the electromagnetic field over Russia to possibly receive another input of energy, which would otherwise be extremely jolting to people's brainwaves. So potentially that's what we're preparing for. And it would make sense this is what all that happened right before those giant CMEs came out. So this is just me now speculating as a scientist, so take it or leave it. But this is some interesting info. I know a lot of other people who report on the Schumann on YouTube. I know a lot of you watch their channels too, so maybe just sprinkle that assessment in there if they haven't If they don't have a clue, then let me know if they've been getting any hints about this too. But see how it's very mechanical. It's between the hour, just in 1 hour, it's going 4 times about this little spike. What kind of machinery can do that? Well, stuff like CERN and HARP and so on. Like these frequency machines are very old. Like they've been using them a long time. And so this science is actually pretty well figured out by now. So I wouldn't freak out too much. You guys are probably going to be fine. But we're witnessing it now. And these scientists are going to have to come out and start educating us about this, because there's enough people in the collective consciousness being like, what is this? Like, curious. Yeah. The more questions we ask, the more we can all be honest with each other and actually be an intellectual civilization again, instead of just privatizing all of the good stuff to like a 1% or even smaller. We aren't going to do that anymore. Age of Aquarius is here. So yeah, all those spikes, very low amplitude though. It's all very low amplitude that's going on over there. But the Q is dancing around a little bit, which is interesting to keep note of. The Italian area, I heard, kind of went dark, and you see there's a lot of darkness here. It's almost like a suppressed energy. It's very dark, but along the bottom here and the very low frequencies, we are getting a little bit of information. So from 0 to 5 hertz, and also this lovely 50 hertz that just never stops over Italy. So that's another frequency machine, in my opinion, keeping people's brainwaves at a certain degree, in my opinion. So not a fan, but there could be a benevolent reason for it. Maybe just to keep people sane. I don't know, but times are crazy. And I know there's a lot of people working on this around the world. So we are being well managed, us cattle of earth. And I'm here to give you that power back, because that's what I want. Over in HeartMath, along those other locations like California, Saudi Arabia, Lithuania, Alberta, Canada, New Zealand, and South Africa, we're seeing pretty decently normal levels here. So Russia going nuts, Italy not so much. All those other places I just said, pretty quiet, except South Africa, which is always quite active. So this is loaded up until the 19th of February. 20th we won't get to see, because this is a very slow updating data, which could allow it to be very edited as well, but we won't go there anymore. And yeah, we just see blasts in South Africa over and over and over. It's a very common input point of this lightning and of this, the ionosphere basically discharging all this energy into the earth plane. It seems like it happens a lot over South Africa and Russia. So here's the global consciousness knot. Some of you know this, and from my old shows, basically how it works is there's random number generators around the world, and the closer the numbers come in likeness means the more coherent the planet is, basically on a quantum level. So here we're seeing it, it's going into green as I speak. The dot's going from yellow to green. It's changing color right now. So we're getting more coherent. Me talking about coherence made things a little more coherent. Very beautiful. We're seeing a lot of green, a lot of blue today. So even though all of this energy is incoming, so far we are functioning. Whoops. Let's reload this beautiful page and see what's up. This is the live view of impact right now of our electromagnetic field. I'm getting some red, some yellow here out front. The energy's getting hot. The electromagnetic field is kind of spooling and curling behind us, which is caused by that extra pressure. This looks like an angel, kind of. This is kind of cool. Again, a lot of this pooling energy behind us, a lot in our wake right now. And yeah, things are heating up a little bit. So yeah, we're going to be seeing some intensity. Our solar wind is 200 kilometers per second over average, which is 400. So usually it's hanging around 400. We're seeing it at 600 right now. And we have not even begun to touch, I don't think, that energy that's come off the sun the last 24 hours. It's still heading our way, even though the light only takes 8 minutes. All that other goop that's going to be pressing down on our electromagnetic field and causing this to probably light up in red in the next couple days, it is yet to arrive. But yeah, that is the more comprehensive space weather report for all of you. Let's just watch our sun do a little bit more exploding, I just wanted to say a quick thank you to all of you who are members of my website, ascensiondiaries.com. Your monthly donations feed my family. Those of you on my Patreon as well, your monthly donations keep my internet running, feed my family, keep us in a safe place to live as well. And I just did some repairs even on our vehicle, so now we can drive again. So the money has been super helpful. I know a lot of you have mentioned to me that you're willing to do those donations on a monthly basis, but it hasn't been time for you yet. If it is time, now would be great because I'm raising money for a new computer. I'm hoping in March to be able to purchase it where I can live stream these reports and all my other streams all to multiple locations, and we can all hang out together and get the quickest updates possible and keep the community fresh and so on. And not only me, but my husband as well, who does reports on cryptocurrency and other geopolitical sort of things. And just let you know, if you aren't into cryptocurrency yet, we're getting major synchronicities that is a major shift of our financial system. So if you would like to receive the new age money and get it before it triples or quadruples or whatever in value, buy it now before the whole world basically starts buying it. And you basically have 1 month left, if not a few weeks, before I think this is really going to explode. Just like here on the sun, like as you're seeing it above, it is happening below. So this explosion may mean that it is now, like Monday, Tuesday could be the day where the cryptocurrency market's just going to explode, just like the sun. I've watched it happen. These connections happen. So if you need to know how to do that, go to his YouTube channel. It's called Cosmic Origins, and you can look at his last videos and he will teach you how. He's also taking on 5 clients to specifically get them ready and set up ASAP, who need the most hands-on help. And all that money again is going to go towards our family, towards upgrading our equipment so we can continue to be a support through the crypto, through the space weather, through all these live streams, and have a lot of fun too. So if that appeals to you, I'm grateful. We work very, very hard. And thank you again to all of you who do share the love, who do send us nice messages. It's been so nice to get to know all of you so much. Even in the Telegram group chats, we truly, truly appreciate you, and we cannot wait to see what the rest of 2021 is going to grow and bring. I'm even going to be doing an event in May, so sign up on my website, at least get your email on there if you want to come out to Sedona in May from the 24th to the 30th. We're going to do 7 locations. We're going to go to 7 different vortexes. I also have secondary locations and a whole fun thing planned out. It's all do it yourself. It's a self-guided journey. I'm just going to give you the dates and times, and you feed yourself, clothe yourself, get your butt under some type of shelter at night, and I'll take care of the rest. And you bring all of your instruments and your magic and your good vibes, only love to here in Sedona. And we will be doing some awesome engaging in nature together in May. I cannot wait. So with all those announcements aside, I thank you all very much for being here, and I look forward to the next time I see you, which will be Members Movie Monday night. So I'll see you then. See ya.
Beep, bubble, beep.